outrage this morning from charitable organizations after a federal investigation into what they did with FireAid concert money.
An interim report on that investigation is making some shocking claims. Senior investigative reporter Ross Palumbo is here. And Ross, are the claims accurate?
Well, Sheba and Jamie, the organizers of the FireAid concert, say those claims are not accurate. And this morning, we're going to get into some of the specifics. Remember, they raised more than $100 million and gave it to hundreds of charities. So we followed that money and found that most of it did go to help fire survivors, like the first responders who told their traumatic story to musicians. They made a song out of it as part of their music therapy. The searing sound of fire and sirens.
You can hear these explosions.
And sudden explosions ringing out across Altadena.
Fought hard for 36 hours, barely stopped to take a break.
That sounds good.
And firefighter Chen Yu is still battling them back.
What's another word for strength?
One line, one chord,
Fought it hard for 36 hours.
one lyric at a time.
Brothers and sisters in blue stood tall and unafraid.
What was that like for you? It just feels good to kind of let it out.
He had been keeping it in for a solid year now, after himself fighting the Eaton fire for a day and a half. And after coming back to his own Altadena home,
I was just in shock.
Burned to the ground.
That's when it really hit. You know, I was just kind of crying uncontrollably.
Because you saw it from both sides.
It's definitely hard. It's been a long year.
85 first responders like him have spent part of that year here in music therapy.
Los Angeles!
All made possible by the music from FireAid, the concert raising more than $100 million to fund programs like this across Southern California.
How much did you get?
We got $250,000 from FireAid.
Founder Mike McGrew says he couldn't have helped so many without it.
How powerful is this? How does it work?
This works. It's 100%.
Is it worth the money?
It's definitely worth the money.
But almost immediately, all of the money and all of the charities came into question.
I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to open an investigation.
California Congressman Kevin Kiley even launching a federal investigation into exactly where the money was going.
Now we've learned that this money didn't go to the victims at all.
You said that there were issues that were beyond belief. You seem extremely concerned.
So that's why I said, let's just get to the bottom of this. Let's get transparency. Let's get accountability.
An initial concern was just more than 50 organizations that hadn't spent 100% of their money. But after emailing them, we found at least 18 that have now spent 100%, including 911 at Ease International, who spent their $250,000 grant, they say, on this program.
There were a number that did tremendous work.
But Kiley insists there were other problems. His committee's interim report, for example, first claims $100,000 went to promote voter participation, but then adds it's, quote, unclear.
There was one pretty substantial grant that was received by an organization that generally deals with the voting rights related issues, which isn't necessarily connected to fire relief.
FireAid says the California Native Vote Project actually gave the money to 300 survivors as microgrants. And an independent audit that FireAid commissioned found no evidence of any misrepresentations, improper distribution, improper selection, or improper use of funds. Do you have any evidence that a single dollar was spent inappropriately?
So as I've said, there were organizations that received grants, such as this organization that promotes voting rights, that had those grants returned.
Do you feel that you've vilified some of these charities unnecessarily?
No, I don't. We were just responding to the public questions that have been raised about this.
It's hard to hear that. And
were you mad?
It's just disappointing. This money was used to save lives.
Lives like Chen Yu, who says his song is supporting his recovery.
It hits me to the heart.
And rewriting his soundtrack.
I think it's a worthy cause.
Money well spent.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, help me kind of go through what I went through.
I think we got it.
Bravo.
You feel okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there are even more claims made in that interim report, and FireAid has now given us responses to each and every allegation. You could read both the allegations and the responses online right now at cbsla.com. Overall, their claims add up to just a small percentage of that $100 million. So when you read that, you can decide for yourself how serious those allegations are. And remember, they just composed a song, right?
Yeah.
So we just received the finished song.
Nice.
And you can listen to it as well right now at cbsla.com. You should listen to it. It's really good.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Well, so I'm watching this. I think two things can be true at the same time. I can think that these funds have gone to this organization where the song has meant so much to this group of people who have been impacted and were affected by the fires, and that is fire relief.
Definitely.
I think at the same time, there are a number of people who are still without homes, dealing with insurance claims, going, wait, I thought the money was going to come help us, and that the community would be rebuilt with some of this money. So how do we rectify for people that's what
happened?
Yes.
Well, so FireAid raised more than $100 million, and it's so much money. It's too much money to any one organization just to hand out directly to people, because then they have to vet those people. So what the idea was to give it to smaller charities that they had already put through rigorous vetting. 600 applied, for example, only 300 got the funds. And those charities then go on to vet the homeowners to make sure these are real homeowners that are getting the money. So they have to be sure they're giving it to people who really need the money, with so many scammers out there.
Right.
And that's how they chose to do it in this specific arrangement. And it appears to work out very well. We did not find a single dollar that we could verify was not spent correctly.
Interesting. So it really doesn't seem that these funds were misused. They just weren't used in the way it seems that many homeowners thought that they would be used.
There was some confusion, I think, from just when you watch the program, saying this money's coming directly to you.
Right.
It never went directly from FireAid concert to a person. But when you think about it, it really can't, because then they have to verify who are these homeowners. They have to do all that work, so they doled it out to smaller charities instead of one big charity like the Red Cross. Now these little charities, like the people who composed this song, now they got a chance to get $250,000, and they helped 85 people.
Well, I'm glad you broke this all down.
Yeah, you definitely got some answers and tracked that money for us. Hopefully that gives people some peace of mind.
And some hope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ross, thank you.
Of course.